Welcome back to Lesson 1 on Symmetry of Tessellations and Transformations. Now we have already looked at a few transformations such as reflections and rotations, and now we'll add in translations, which involve moving an object up, down, left, or right. Now after translations, reflections, and rotations have been performed on an image, the resulting image will be examined for any line or rotational symmetry. For example 1, we have to rotate the rectangle ABCD 180 degrees about the origin. Then we'll label each new vertex and then determine if any line or rotational symmetry exists for the new shape created. So we can use tracing paper to help us rotate this rectangle, or you might be able to picture rotating it first 90 degrees and it ending up on its side, and then rotating it another 90 to result in this rectangle. Now this point down here corresponds with A, so we'll call this A prime. This point is B prime. This is C prime. This is D prime. So now if we look for any line symmetry, there's no vertical or horizontal or even diagonal symmetry here. So we're going to say that there is no line symmetry. But if I trace this figure now on some tracing paper and then rotate it about the origin, you will see that it does have rotational symmetry. So there is no line symmetry, but there is rotational symmetry. Of order 2. Now for example 2, we have to translate the pentagon to the right 3 units and then determine if any line or rotational symmetry exists. So if I start with this point here and count over 3 blocks to the right, this is the corresponding image point. For the point up here, that will be moved over here. This point will land on this point. This point moves over to here. And then this point is right here. So now we can join up our points to get our new shape. So now if you're looking for any symmetry, you may think that there is a vertical line of symmetry here, but when you try to fold it over, you'll see that these 2 points here don't quite match. So there's no vertical or horizontal or diagonal line symmetry here. So we'll make note of that. Now if I put this on tracing paper and rotate about the center, you'll see that there is no rotational symmetry either. So there's no line symmetry or rotational symmetry. Now for example 3, it says a figure A has undergone a transformation. Determine if the resulting image shows line or rotational symmetry. So if I were to fold this figure along this vertical line here, you would see that the points coincide with themselves. So there is in fact line symmetry here. There's also a horizontal one as well. So there are 2 lines of symmetry here. And if I were to rotate this figure about this point here, we would also have rotational symmetry. So there are 2 lines of symmetry and rotational symmetry of order 2. Now here we have an arrow that was transformed a couple of times. Now if I'm looking for any lines of symmetry, I'll see that there's not going to be any in this diagram. No matter which way you fold it, it's not going to coincide with itself. So there are no lines of symmetry. But we definitely have some rotational symmetry here. So what there is rotational symmetry of order 3.